pupils, parents, and guardians. Let me start by thanking you for being a part of all our remote learning platforms, particularly our television program, The Classroom in Your Home. Each feedback has been awesome. Good job, you. Our teachers have been working assiduously to bridge the learning loss during this critical period. Therefore, I am pleased to inform you that the Classroom in Your Home has been extended to accommodate the lower primary classes and a dedicated lesson to cater for our special needs pupils in line with our mandate of providing an all-inclusive and quality basic education in our dear state. This program is fully sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and supported by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board under the COVID-19 Blended Learning Intervention Initiative. Please encourage your wards to tune in and take every advantage of this laudable program. Also remember, this pandemic is not over. Let us continue to abide by all health and safety guidelines as stipulated by the government. At Lasubeb, we are determined to leave no child behind in our quest to improve the standard of basic education in our state. Thank you.
Hello pupils, you're welcome to another wonderful edition of your favorite program, The Classroom in Your Home. A program sponsored by the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and packaged by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, Lasubeb. It is to ensure that you are academically engaged in addition to what you're learning in school. I am Auntie Fumi, your English Studies teacher, and I have with me your wonderful teachers. They are here. Yes, the mathematician, Uncle Agbaje.
Hello, children.
Yes, that's your math teacher.
Are you ready to learn today?
Sure they are. And your popular teacher, Uncle Popo.
Hello, puppies.
He'll be taking you through all the subjects on the general studies. And we have our sign language interpreter in the house, Uncle Niyi. Together, we are bringing the classroom into your home. Please stay tuned. You're welcome to Auntie Fumi's class. In our English Studies lesson today, we'll be looking at prefix. Yes, does that sound strange? No, it is not. The word is prefix. You want to know the meaning? Don't worry, you will know in the course of the lesson. But the first thing for us to do is that we have to do the correction to our previous homework. You were asked to change some sentences from indirect to direct speech. Change from indirect to direct speech. Don't forget that our last lesson was direct and indirect speech. I have 3 out of 3. What about you? Same? Oh, 2. Don't worry, I still have to celebrate you with a cheer. Good job, you. Now, to the learning objective for today. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to say the meaning of prefixes. You should be able to say the meaning of prefixes. Not only that, you should also be able to identify prefixes in any given word. You should be able to identify prefixes in any given word. Don't forget I said our topic for today is prefix. Prefix. P-R-E-F-I-X. Prefix. What is a prefix? A prefix is a letter or group of letters placed before another word to change its meaning. I want to take that again. A prefix is a letter or group of letters. That means it can be more than a letter. A letter or a group of letters placed before another word to change its meaning. For example, if you place un on before the word happy, it becomes a new word entirely, and it becomes what? Unhappy. Horn. If you place it before happy, if you place it before the word happy, it becomes a new word, a brand new word, and that brand new word is unhappy. So the prefix here is horn, horn. If you place it before happy, it becomes unhappy. Good. Prefixes also have their own meanings. They have their own meaning. So if they are placed before words, they become part of the words and they thereby change the meanings. Horn, already has a meaning, but by the time you place it before happy, it becomes another word and it changes the meaning of happy. It changed the meaning of happy. You know the meaning of happy. When you now add horn to it, it becomes unhappy, and that is another meaning entirely. I hope you are with me. Are we together? Good. Now let's look at common prefixes with their meanings. Common prefixes with their meanings. D. It could mean down, it could mean below, it could mean opposite. Look at this word, defreeze, depress. The prefix D is added to change the meaning of the word freeze, defreeze. That is the opposite of freeze. It's either it is frozen or defrozen. That is not frozen. Yeah. Die. D-I. Die. It could mean two, twice, or double. Look at this word, disyllabic. That is double of a syllable. Ditransitive. That is in a double form. So die means two, twice, or double. En. It could mean in, it could mean make. Enlarge, make larger than it is. Enclose. Another one is buy, B-I, buy. It also means the two, twice, or double, depending on the usage. Bicycle. That is a bicycle because it has two wheels. Bilingual, language that is more than one. X. We can say, you can use it to mean out or away. Look at the word export. We call it export, or excel. X. It can be used to mean away or out. Now let's look at negative prefixes that gives the opposite meaning to words. Negative prefixes that gives the opposite meaning to words. Look at this. When we say this or in, this something or in something, it means not. Let me give you an example. Disappear, it means not appearing. Inexperienced, it means not experienced. When you add this to any word, it gives the opposite meaning of that particular word. Appear, disappear. Those are words and opposites. Experienced, inexperienced. That means it's either you are experienced or you are not experienced. They are words and opposite. Another examples, miss and none. Miss and none, it means without. Examples, when you have fortune and you put miss as a prefix to it, it becomes misfortune. It becomes misfortune. And misfortune means what? Without fortune. Sense, and you put none before it, it becomes nonsense. And that means without sense. So, when you put miss or none as a prefix, if you had it as a prefix before any words, it gives the opposite meaning to the word. Are you with me? Good. Look at this one too. Il, on, or im. Il, I-L. On, U-N. And im, I-M. It means opposite. Look at these words. Legal. When you put IL before legal, it becomes illegal. It becomes illegal. That is opposite of legal is illegal. On, happy. If you put on as a prefix, place it before happy, it becomes unhappy. Happy, the opposite is unhappy. And I am im. If you put im as a prefix before the word moral, it becomes immoral. That is, the opposite of moral is immoral. Are we together? Did you understand what I've just said? What I've just told you is that there are some negative prefixes which gives opposite meaning to words. When you add them as prefixes before words, it gives the exact opposite of those words. This, in, miss, none, ill, on, and im. When you add them to appear, experience, fortune, sense, legal, happy, and moral, it gives the exact opposite of their meanings. Evaluation time. Are you ready? Let's see. From the list of prefixes A to D, choose the correct one to form the opposite of the word in capital letters in each of the following sentences. Are we ready? Just underline or just write the answer. Ready? Good. Correction time. Yes. Now, let me choose my pen because we're going to mark together. I am certain that he saw me coming out of the hall. Which of these will form the prefix that will mean the opposite of the word certain? Uncertain. Yes, uncertain. UN, uncertain. Did you choose that? Then mark. You're good. They regard every person that comes their way. They regard. What prefix can we use that will show the opposite of regard? Disregard. They disregard every person that comes their way. This is the answer. If that is what you have, give yourself a tick. If not, just give yourself a cross. It is very convenient staying with so many people in a room. What is the prefix that will give you the opposite of convenient? Inconvenient. Inconvenient. Yes, that is the opposite. Good. Another tick. Number 4. The clouds will soon appear in the sky. The opposite of appear is what? What prefix will you place before appear to give you the opposite? This, yes, this to make it disappear. Disappear. And the last one, these clothes are suitable for cold weather. What prefix will you add to suitable to give you the opposite in meaning? Unsuitable. So we have certain, uncertain, regard, disregard, convenient, inconvenient, appear, disappear, suitable, unsuitable. 5 out of 5, 4, or even 3. You have tried. I still celebrate you with a cheer. Well done. Now to what Auntie Fumi loves most, the assignment. Assignment. Use the following prefixes to complete the following words. You have im, im, il, mis, miss, dis, this, un, on, de, for, fore, ir, and ex. You are going to use the following prefixes to complete these words. You place them before the appropriate words to give them another meaning entirely. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to copy the assignment, and your time starts now. By now, you should have finished copying the assignment. Make sure you do your assignments, because that is the only thing that will guarantee your winning packs of Good Life Magic Juice. And you know that Auntie Fumi loves pupils that do their assignments. So, that's it for today. We've had a very wonderful session learning prefixes. And I believe you have so many examples now. Till our next lesson, when we shall meet again, let me hand you over to the mathematician for another wonderfully packaged mathematics class. Don't forget, Auntie Fumi is always proud of you. Well done.
Hello children, you're welcome to this segment of the program, The Classroom in Your Home. It is mathematics time and we are going to be having some fun. I am Uncle Agbaje. Today in mathematics, we'll just continue with our work on solving the problem of the world using basic operations. But first, so what are the learning objectives? By the end of the lesson, you should be able to appreciate the use of basic operations in solving real-life problems, okay? You should also be able to interpret word problems on addition and subtraction of numbers. You should be able to decide by yourself, am I going to add here, or am I going to subtract here, or am I going to do both, add before subtract, or subtraction before addition? You have to be able to do that by the end of the lesson. Finally, you should be able to solve real-life problems on addition and subtraction of numbers. That's why you're mathematicians. Mathematicians solve the problems of the world. So let's go. Many real-life problems can be solved using simple basic operations of addition and subtraction. I mean, it doesn't have to be difficult. Sometimes all you need to do is add or subtract numbers. So let's consider some problems together today. Umar requires 4.67 meters of cloth to sew his uniform, while Z requires 3.9 meters for hours. So Umar requires 4.67, Z requires 3.9 meters for hours. Now, a tailor sews their uniforms from a 12-meter length of cloth. So there is a 12-meter length of cloth, and the tailor sews uniforms for both Umar and Z. The question is, how long is the material left? You know, perhaps the tailor wants to do another thing with the material and he wants to know if it will be enough after sewing a uniform for Umar and Z. So your problem, our problem today, is to help the tailor to calculate how much of the material is left. So let's think. Umar uses 4.67, Z uses 3.9, and then we have to cut it off from the whole 12 meter length of cloth. So what do? Well, there are several ways to the problem. The first thing you might want to do is, how does the tailor do it? Perhaps he cuts 4.67 for Umar, that's minus because he has to cut it off. And then he cuts 3.9 meters for Z, and that's another subtraction. That's one way to do it, and then you find out what is left. So you can subtract the first and then you subtract the second. Or you can do what? You can add the length for Umar and Z together and then cut it off from the whole 12 meter length. That's the approach that we are going to be using. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is that we want to say, okay, Umar has 4.67 meters of clothes to use and Z has 3.9 meters, and don't forget that we have to put unit under unit, and in this case the unit is the digit before the decimal point, so every other thing falls in place. Now our 3.9 has become 3.90 because this place would have been empty, so we filled it up with 0. You remember that from our last lesson. Good job, you. Now we have to find the total of what they will use together, and that will be adding the two together. So let's see, 7 plus 0 will give us 7. 6 plus 9 will give us 15. So we'll write 5. So we'll write 5 and regroup 1. Okay, so now adding this together, 1 plus 4 will give us 5. 5 plus 3 will give us 8, my friend. And so the total cloth that will be used by Umar and Z for their uniforms is 8.57 meters. But that's not the question. The question says, how long is the material that is left? So we have to remove the total for both of them from the 12 meter length of cloth, and that will be done right here. So initial length is 12 meters, and we write that as 12.00 meters. That's because we want to remove a decimal number from it, as you will say. So we have 8.57 meters, which is the total for Umar and Z. We have to remove it from that length of cloth, okay, because the tailor has to cut it off. That's subtraction. And so now to subtract, 0 minus 7 will not be possible. So what we do is that we'll go here and borrow 1, and we're left with 1 here. Give it to this one, and then borrow 1, and then we're left with 9. Then we now do 10 minus 7 because we give 1 to the last digit. That's 3. Then 9 minus 5 will give us 4. Put the decimal point. 1 minus 8 is not possible. So we'll borrow 1 from here. We're left with 0 here. Give it to this one. That's 11. 11 minus 8, we get 3. And that means that there will be 3.43 meters of cloth left in terms of length. So this will not even be enough to sew a material for Z or for Umar anymore. So finally, we answer the question. The total length of cloth remaining is 3.43 meters. I hope you got that right. Let's check out another problem. This one says, due to COVID-19 restrictions, only 28,132 people turned up at the 80,000 capacity Abuja National Stadium to watch the friendly game between Nigeria and Algeria. How many seats were left unoccupied? Okay, so there are 80,000 seats because that's what is meant by 80,000 capacity. There are 80,000 seats in the stadium. Now, because we want to have physical distancing, we allow only 28,132 people into the stadium. So how many seats will people not sit on? Okay, so is this an addition problem or a subtraction problem? Well, we only need to find out how many seats are occupied and remove that from the total seats. Then we know the seats that are not occupied. And because we are removing, we are subtracting. So let's see how that is done exactly. So we'll write the capacity of the stadium is 80,000. And the total number of seats used is 28,132, and we have to remove those seats because they've been occupied. We don't count them. And then we subtract and we get the seats that are used, that are not used, the unoccupied seats. So 0 minus 2 is not possible. You know what? We have to go and borrow all the way from here, and we have 7 here. Then give it to this one, we have 9, borrow. Then we have 9, borrow. We still have 9, then borrow, we have 10. So 10 minus 2 is now 8. 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 1 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. Then 7 minus 2 is 5. And what that means is that in the stadium, 51,868 seats were not occupied. Did you get that too? Excellent job, you were going together. Therefore, in the stadium, 51,868 seats were not occupied by people. Let's check out another problem. This problem says there were 4,532 people in the theater to watch the live-action remake of Mulan. Do you know that Mulan movie? The cartoon, the live-action remake. 4,532 people were in the theater to watch the live-action remake. Now, after the movie, 3,105 people left the theater. The rest were joined. You know, after 3,105 people left, there will still be some people there. The rest were joined by another 2,887 people to watch Bad Boys 2. How many people watched Bad Boys 2? Okay, you remember that Bad Boys 2 movie by starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence? Yeah. Okay, so what we need to do is that we need to think. 4,532 people in the theater, and then 3,105 people left. And the action of leaving, is it addition or subtraction? Because they left, they have been removed, and that is subtraction. We need to know how many is left, how many people are left in the theater, and then we now, because another 2,887 people now join them, and that one is now addition. So we first need to remove those people that left, that's subtraction. And then we had those people that came in, and that is addition. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So first, to know the people left in the theater after 3,105 people left. Those people that watched Mulan, 4,532. Those people that left, 3,105. Those people that are remaining in the theater, we need to calculate them. 2 minus 5, we start from the right. Units place is not possible. So we are going to be borrowing 1 from here, and then bringing it here. That's 12. Now 12 minus 5, of course, that's going to give us 7. 2 minus 0, that will give us 2. 5 minus 1 gives 4. 4 minus 3 gives 1. But that is not the end of the problem, my friend. We only now know how many people stayed back in the theater. They were joined by another 2,887 people. We need to know how many people joined them. We know how many people joined them. We now need to know the total number of people in the theater for the second movie, Bad Boys 2. Okay? So we know that 1,427 people stayed back in the theater to watch the second movie, but they were joined by an additional 2,887 people. Additional means we're going to add because they joined them. Okay, so to do this, we just add everything. 7 plus 7 is 14, starting from the end here. 7 plus 7 is 14. Yes, and then we carry 1 to this place. So the 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 8 is 11. So we write 1 and carry 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. So we write 3 and carry 1. Now 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. And that means that the number of people that were in the theater, those that stayed from the Mulan movie, plus those that joined them, everybody that stayed back to watch Bad Boys 2, the number of people are 4,314. So sometimes you don't just rush to answer questions. You have to think and try to imagine the process. Sometimes you may need to draw to illustrate to be able to get an understanding of the problem. I have demonstrated 3 problems for you. The number of people that watched Bad Boys 2 is 4,314. It's your turn I want you to take your time, think about the problems before you solve. This says that in a factory there are 35,675 workers, 10,750 workers came in the first shift, 12,650 workers came in the second shift, and the rest come in the third shift. How many people come in the third shift? You have 1 minute. Begin. Alrighty then, I believe that you are done. Let's just walk through it together. Now, in the first shift, 10,750 people came in. Now, in the second shift, 12,650 people came in. If we know the total number of people that came in for the first shift and the second shift, then we can remove it from the total number of workers. The remaining will be for the third shift. And so, we need to add the first shift and the second shift together. Is that what you did? It's an addition problem before a subtraction problem. And so, adding together, 0 plus 0 gives us 0. 5 plus 5 gives us 10. And we'll carry 1 to this place. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. We'll carry 1 to this place after writing 4. Now, 1 plus 0 plus 2 is 3. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. And that means that the total for the first shift and the second shift is 23,400 workers. But these are the people for the first two shifts. We need to know those people that came in that come in for the third shift. And so we have to remove this from the total number of workers there. And so let's go. Total workers is 35,675. But those who come in for the first shift and the second shift is there are 23,400. So we have to remove this to know those who come in for the third shift. And so subtracting 5 minus 0 is 5, 7 minus 0 is 7, 6 minus 4 is 2, 5 minus 3 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. And what this simply means is that for the third shift, 12,275 people come in. Did you get that right? You did. Oh, you are amazing. You are a smart kid. Let's now take that assignment, which is coming up right about now. You have 30 seconds to copy this, but do not go away because, of course, we have Magic Tuesday. Hello children, you are welcome to this segment of the program. It is Magic Tuesday where we show ourselves tricks and shortcuts in mathematics. Today's magic is actually very interesting. Did you know that the easiest number that you can multiply any large number with is 11? Yeah, it is 11. Today I'm going to teach you how to multiply large numbers by 11, and you will not even need to multiply anything. You will just be adding. Alright, are you interested in how that is going to be done? Follow me. The first example says we are to multiply 253 by 11. So what we do is that we write 253 like this, See how I've spaced them out. Now we start from the unit digit. 253 is what we need. So we start from the unit digit, add it to the 10th digit. 3 plus 5 gives us 8, put it on top. Then 5 plus 2 gives us 7. And now our final answer is ready. Pick the first one, 2, 7, 8, 3. See, you pick it like this. Your final answer is 2,783. It's as simple as that. You're amazed, right? Let's check out another one. This one says we should multiply 537 by 11. So again, the same process. Space it out. Then you start from the right here. 7 plus 3 is 10. But you don't leave 10. You carry 1 to the next place. All right. Now we had this. 3 plus 5 is 8. Add 1 plus 8. Then you get 9. Then your answer is ready. 5907. Right from the left. Above and the top and above, and then you pick it to the right. 5907. That is your final answer, my friend. And you know what? This works for all numbers, no matter how large they are. Let's check out another example for a 4-digit number. This one says multiply 4,752 by 11. Okay, so it's the same procedure. See, I spaced them out. Then we start from the right. 2 plus 5, that is 7. Write it in between. 5 plus 7, that is 12. Write it in between. Write 2, carry 1. 7 plus 4, that is 11. Add that 1 to it, then you get 12. And then now you have to carry 1 to the first digit, what you're supposed to have as the first digit. 1 plus 4, and that should give us 5. Final answer is ready. Don't forget 1 plus 4 is 5, so we say the final answer is 52272. Isn't that amazing? Multiplying by 11 is the easiest thing you can do in mathematics. That's it for today, my friend. Till I come your way in the next lesson, remain wonderful mathematicians. Bye bye now.
Hello pupils, you are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Uncle Popo is here.
I am also here.
Good. We are here together.
100% attention.
Good. 100% attention is what I want you to give me in today's lesson. Our subject for today is social studies. In our last lesson in social studies, we talked about religious intolerance, and we talked about how it could be prevented. We talked also about the causes of religious intolerance. Today we want to look at another topic, very interesting one. Before that, I want you to tell me what you would like to become in future. Just mention. Good. I know some of you are just changing profession. You say one today, tomorrow you say another one. Well, all what you are desiring to become are good ones. So let's look at, we talk in details today about labor and trade union. Whatever profession you have chosen is on the trade union. So we'll look at that in today's lesson. The learning objective first. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to define labor and trade union, and you should be able to list examples of trade union and state their functions. Now let's begin. Labor. When we say labor, what are we referring to? Labor simply means a workforce or all the people who engage in various works in an organization. In any company, in any institution, those people working there are regarded as workforce. And let's look at the different professionals here. We have, in this picture, we have different people. They are different professionals because they have different work they are doing. And through the way they are dressing, we could identify some of them. And like this, this is a nurse. This is a cleaner here. This is a medical doctor. And this is an engineer, and so on. That means we have different professionals. Like when I started, I told you to tell me what kind of job you would like to do when you grow up, and all of you said different jobs. So we have different professionals. Now, labor and trade unions are very important in any society. Don't forget, labor are workforce, and Any profession falls under trade union. Labor includes professional and non-professional workforce. Labor includes what? Professional and non-professional workforce. Like I said before, that all the workforce working in an industry, in a company, we regard to them as labor. There we have professional workforce, and we also have non-professional. Examples of professional workforce. Examples of professional workforce are the trained teachers, engineers, doctors, and some of the professions that you have chosen that you want to become in future fall under professional workforce. I know none of you will choose to become a cleaner. I know some of you, none of you will choose to become a gatekeeper. So I believe all the jobs you have chosen or profession you have chosen fall under professional workforce. And examples I have said, many of them. Now this is just a picture showing the workforce, the professional ones. This is a nurse. This is the people here. This is an engineer. This is an engineer. This is a teacher. You know him? Uncle Agbaje, good. And we have lawyers here. These are professionals. Now, examples of non-professional workforce are uncertified medical workers, unskilled laborers in an industry, untrained teachers, some gatekeepers, messengers. They are non-professional workforce. Examples here, like I've told you, it's a cleaner here. This is an unskilled worker here. They are unprofessional. There are also people working for themselves. No, we have talked about people working in industry, in company. We should not forget that we have some people working for themselves. They are said to be self-employed. Some set up their business, some are into trading, they establish themselves, they are working for themselves. Those people working for themselves are said to be self-employed. Say that. Self-employed. That means they are working on their own, they are making the money on their own. Nobody is paying them maybe wage or salary. So they are self-employed. Now examples are a trader selling in his or her shop, that is self-employed. A barber is some of them are self-employed. A shoemaker setting up the business, him or herself is self-employed. A roadside mechanic is self-employed because nobody is paying him any wage or salary. So those people are self-employed. Now examples just to show what I've just talked about. A barber here is self-employed. Is nobody. This kind of this barber is not being paid by anybody. He's the owner of the shop, so he's self-employed. And the roadside mechanic, he owns the workshop. Any money that comes in is for him. He is self-employed. The shoemaker she set up the business herself. Nobody is paying her. She is self-employed. Now, when people work for other people or organizations, they are said to be in paid employment. They are said to be in what? Paid employment. You can see the difference. When people work for other people or organizations, they are said to be in paid employment. Like like teachers, you know, they are working. It could be for government, it could be private. They are paying them, so they are in paid employment. In some banks, we have many people working there, accountants, bankers. They are in paid employment. Do you understand the difference? Self-employed and those that are in paid employment. Paid employees work for reward called wages or salary. Those that are in paid employment, the reward for the service they render is either they collect wages or salaries. And when you say wages, wages are usually paid weekly. And when you say salaries, salaries are usually paid monthly. So paid employees work for reward called wages or salaries. Don't forget, wages are paid weekly, salaries are paid monthly. Now let's talk about trade union. Trade union is the association of workers in an organization. The association of workers in an organization. The professionals that we talked about the other time, they have trade union is the association of workers. Examples of trade unions. The first one here, Nigeria Union of Teachers. Say that. Nigeria Union of Teachers. That is NUT. Is for the teachers. Let's look at another one. Academic Staff Union of Universities. ASU. This trade union is for universities. We have different chapters. It could be the one for Nigeria and others. Next one is Nigeria Medical Association, NMA. Nigeria Medical Association. This is another trade union. Next is Nigeria Union of Journalists. Nigeria Union of Journalists. That's NUJ, fighting for the interests of the journalists. That's another trade union. Now, let's look at the functions of trade union. Trade union is not just there as a body. They have purposes they are serving. They have what they stand for. Functions of trade union. 1, to fight for their members so that the basic privileges, rights, and benefits are enjoyed by them. That's the first function of trade union. Trade union fights for their members. NUT fight for the teachers. NUJ, Nigeria Union of Journalists, fight for the interests of the journalists. Nigeria Medical Association fights for the interests of the medical officers. So trade union fight for the interests, fight for their members so that privileges, rights, and benefits are enjoyed by them. 2, to represent workers in collective bargaining for their wages and salaries and other payments. That's another function. They represent their workers in bargaining for wages, increment in wages and salaries. So that is why at times you see certain trade unions going on strike because they are fighting for the interests of their members. It could be to increase their wages or salaries. That's another one. Next one is to agitate for political representation. Governments call the representative of different professions, different professionals. They call them to carry out some decisions or to make some policies. So the trade unions stand and represent the group, the professionals there. So to agitate for political representation. Having discussed all this today, we want to test you and see how you have given me your 100% attention in today's lesson. Questions. Number 1, define trade union. Question number 2, list 2 examples of trade union. Question number 3, state 2 functions of trade union. Your time starts now. Eyes on me. Uncle Popo is here. I believe you are still there. So let's mark and see and score yourself and see how you have done today in today's lesson. Number 1, trade union is the association of workers in an organization. Question number 2, list 2 examples of trade union. Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Nigeria Medical Associations, And all other trade unions examples that were discussed today are also correct. Number 3, 2 functions of trade union. 1, to fight for their members so that the basic privileges, rights, and benefits are enjoyed by them. To represent workers in collective bargaining, and to fight against wrongful dismissal of their members, and all other functions that we have discussed in today's lesson. We have come to the end of today's lesson. Until next time, next lesson, Uncle Popo says, keep on studying. Bye.
My wonderful pupils, we have come to the end of another exciting edition of The Classroom in Your Home.
We hope that you have had fun as always with us, because we have enjoyed teaching you today. Now today is Tuesday, and we will be telling you the video challenge for the week. And for me,
the video challenge for the week is the note flip challenge. Uncle Popo.
The note flip challenge we are talking about is not the fastest person that can flip the note, but in capturing the topics taught in English studies, mathematics, and general studies within 1 minute.
Yeah, that's a 1-minute video showing yourself going through your notes and showing us the topics that you have learned. The person with the most voluminous notes, of course, will get our Packs of Good Life
Magic Juice.
Now, our link for today's online assessment is bit.ly/Lasubeb lesson 68. And that means that you must have about 68 topics when you're doing your note flip challenge.
Yes.
Don't forget that you can also visit our online catalog of online assessments, and you will find lessons 1 to lesson 68 featured using the link bit.ly/Lasubeb tests.
Taking the online tests or doing the online task is subject to if you have access to either your daddies, your mommies, your uncles, or your aunties Android or smartphones. If not, there's no problem. Just send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 081 5086 5663. Please do not call that line. SMS and WhatsApp messages only. And when you're sending your assignment, please make sure you include your name,
your school,
Your class.
and your LGEA, your local government education authority. That is the only way we can identify you to be able to appraise you accordingly.
Today's lessons and previous lessons are on Lasubeb YouTube channel for you to watch. Subscribe to Lasubeb YouTube channel to get notification when new videos are uploaded.
Yeah.
The Classroom in Your Home could be watched live on
Facebook. Yes.
The same time airing on television through the page showing on the screen.
Till our next lesson, when we shall meet again on another beautifully packaged edition of The Classroom in Your Home, make sure you do your homework.
Wash your hands regularly.
Keep studying hard and
Stay safe. Lasubeb, leave no child behind.
This is to inform the general public that registration of children for admission into Nursery 1 and Primary 1 will commence in all public nursery and primary schools in Lagos State from Monday 21st September through to Friday 23rd October 2020. The minimum registration age for Primary 1 is 6 years. That is, only children born between 1st April 2014 and 31st March 2015 whose parents or guardians are residents in Lagos State are qualified for registration. Application for registration should be obtained from the head teachers of all public nursery and primary schools in the state. Parents and guardians should register in the school nearest to their homes. Registration is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Application forms must be accompanied by 3 passport-sized photographs of the child, birth certificate of the child, evidence that parent or guardian is resident in Lagos State, that is your LASRA registration card, parent or guardian's tax clearance. Completed application form must be submitted to the head teacher of the school from where it was obtained and must reach him or her on or before Friday, 23rd October 2020. No late registration will be considered. Parents are advised not to register at more than one center. Note, registration is free. Announcer, Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, Lasubeb.